Hello, and welcome to the Electrical Line Technicians graduation class of 2021. Thank you for attending and for your support throughout the year. My name is John Sentko, and I'm the department head for Technology and Occupational Sciences at Northern Michigan University. This program is a partnership between Northern Michigan University, Midwest Skill Development Center, and the Lake Superior Community Partnership Foundation. Founded in 2003, this is the 18th graduating class with over 500 graduates of the program. To date, over 76% are successfully employed, earning family-sustaining wages with benefits. The demand for young people in this vocation across the United States is very high. We'd like to thank the Electrical Line Technician Advisory Board partners for all their hard work and time commitments to this program. Upper Peninsula Power Company, Brett French and Matt Teeters. Alger Delta Electrical Cooperative Electric Association, Tony Tierman. City of Escanaba, Gerald Picola. Fox Power Incorporated, Derek Weed. MJ Electric, Tom Nagy. Great Lakes Energy, Derek Mackey and Daniel King. Marquette Board of Light and Power, Carl Benstrom and David Lynch. The Wisconsin Public Service, Steve Vandenkappenhout. The Midwest Skill Development Center with Jerry LePage and Dennis LaValle. The UP Construction Labor Management Council, Tony Rataski, and Northern Michigan University with myself, Dr. Steve Vandenhoven and Mike Rudisil. We'd also like to acknowledge our board of directors and additional foundation members. I'm going to take just a moment to speak about the program and our graduates. As I mentioned, my name is John Sentko. I'm the department head for Technology and Occupational Sciences at Northern Michigan University, where I oversee many of our technical programs here at the university. I'm pleased to have a privilege of saying a few words on what I know is a fantastic day. It's special for our graduates. It's also especially for their family, friends, and anyone who supports these individuals. Those who support these individuals, you truly cannot be thanked enough for your support. These graduates are about to embark on a profession they might not have known much about before arriving in the classroom or at the pole field. But over the past 9 months, they learned more and experienced more than they probably expected. During those 9 months, they spent time in the classroom and at the pole field, in cold weathers and hot days filled with sunshine and days filled with rain and sometimes a lot of snow. Graduates, you developed a level of camaraderie, mutual trust, and friendships that will last many of you for your lifetime. Each one of you generally found the steel that you're made of and where to find that grit that you need to get the job done. I'm sure that Dennis and Jerry both told you that as you graduate, you know there's still more to learn. And you will continue your learning over the years as the technology changes, new equipment comes to use, and our power grids are updated across the nation and new ones put in. While you learn many different skills and platforms that you'll be working for and from, possibly the most crucial thing that Dennis and Jerry have taught you is how to stay safe. You'll learn how to assess the job site and identify safety issues and to speak out about them. I want to remind you, never, ever put anything above your safety, the safety of those you work with, and the safety of the public. You have a high level of responsibility entrusted to you. Be respectful of it. I also want us to think for a moment about the graduates the next time we lose power in our homes and how grateful we are when it comes back on. Without these fine professional people, we would truly be left in the dark. So as we move forward, I want to thank you for allowing me to take just a moment and speak to you before your next big steps in life. Congratulations on your accomplishment, and I know you're going to have great success. Thank you. And we'll be moving on to our next part. This time I'd like to introduce our class speaker, Morgan Bohannon.
It's a little bright outside. I'm outside here. Thank you, John, for the interview or for the introduction. I appreciate it a lot. And for those of you that don't know me, my name's Morgan Bohannon. This is my fourth college here. Graduated in 2018, and it feels good to be able to graduate from something that I love doing and I've grown to love. And for these parents that don't know me by my name, Morgan, you might know me as Big Mo or just Mo, because that's what all the guys call me. Now, what John said about safety, I completely agree with that. If Dennis taught us anything, it was just to be safe in the pole yard. We wear our hard hats, yes. We use our safety belts, our gloves, and long sleeve shirts in case we get splinters in our arms. But again, when we clip onto the pole and we have carabiners, heavy duty carabiners, we have to make sure that those are clipped in to the right spots, because there have been too many accidents as to where you could hear the clip on, but maybe you're on your screwdriver or on your lineman's wrench, and then you start climbing and you fall, you won't get back up. So I'd like to thank Dennis for teaching us about safety. And Dennis also taught us a lot about leadership in the pole yard. You have to be a leader. You have to do things you're uncomfortable with, and that's okay, because that's what life is. You got to step out of your comfort zone every day you're in the pole yard, climb to new heights. You got to do things. You got to reach far, even though it might be a little wobbly, but you just got to trust your gear, basically. Dennis also taught us how to do things the right way. Me, for an example, my first time I changed out a cross arm took me about 3 hours to do. And that's just because I wasn't listening to what Dennis was saying and I wanted to do it my way. And then I realized the next time when I did it, doing it the right way is not only faster, it's safer. And Dennis knows what he's talking about. When we first started climbing in the pole yard, Dennis kind of walked around and he said, all right, put your primary lanyard around the pole. And then he walked away. And us as a collective class, there was 18, 20 guys in our class until some of them left. We would help each other out. We would help each other out, and we'd learn from experience out in the pole yard, which I think that's a great step. It's a quality that you have to learn in life. Learning from experience is something you got to do. And Dennis also told us, I didn't know this when I came into this class, is that after you graduate here, you have to spend 4 years in an apprenticeship. I never knew that coming in here. I just thought climbing poles was cool. And Dennis told us the reality of those apprenticeships and how we gotta move 70-pound chunks of wood from point A to point B and stack them up nice. We gotta dig holes 6 feet deep, 18 inches wide, and you gotta do that in under an hour. You gotta climb fast up and down. You gotta do a pull top rescue. There's so many things that you have to do that I had no idea what I was getting myself into. Jerry, on the other hand, oh, Jerome, he told us too much, I think, but not enough at the same time. If you'd ask me how to connect a transformer, I could tell you, but you might as well take an hour or two out of your day, because there's a lot you need to know. I'd like to thank Jerry for teaching our class and for putting up with us and all of our shenanigans. And I think it's really nice that Jerry taught a class about professionalism and how to be more professional out in the real world, out in your career, whether you're going to continue to be a lineman or not. I think that professionalism class really helped, because there's a lot of stuff that I didn't know and he taught us about that I'm very thankful for. Jerry, this whole program setup, we all got our CDLs, our commercial driver's licenses, which you won't get into a job in apprenticeship unless you have it. And I'd like to thank Jerry and Dave, all the Daves, there's 3 Daves now. And I'd like to thank all the board and everybody that was able to put that together, because that really helps. And we are beyond grateful for that. Jerry also brought in Lee Conducey. He taught us about OSHA, and OSHA is this the safety people. Yeah, and we had to sit through 10 hours straight of class, and it might have been boring in some parts, but I think we really learned a lot, and that does look good on a resume. Not saying that you want stuff to look good on a resume and that's why you want to do it, but that's definitely going to stick with me for the rest of my life. Absolutely. We all CPR certified, which is also a good thing for your resume, but as well, you might have to perform CPR out on the streets one day. Nobody knows. And Jerry did talk a lot, and he read it straight from the book, word for word. So when we had questions, we'd really ask. And if you really needed to, we could stay after class. And Jerry would just, I don't know if he had anything on his schedule, but he would just clear it right away. And he would help us with whatever we needed to do. I'd like to continue this on to the brotherhood that I have been able to been a part of here. The friends that I have made here are friends that I think I'm going to have for a very long time. It is no doubt a brotherhood, the IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers. That's the union. It's a main thing, but I think we have our own little brotherhood just in this classroom. And although the classes were split up this year, I think we got a good friendship going with the other class as well. And that doesn't just come from the classroom or the pole yard. We'd hang out with each other after school. Sometimes we can go hiking. Marquette's the perfect place for this school. You can go hiking after class. You can go fishing. We did a lot of ice fishing, a lot of boat fishing, a lot of shore fishing, river fishing, you name it, we've probably done it. And it's not supposed to snow, at least not for me. I'm from Lower Michigan. It's not supposed to snow in April or March, end of March, early April. The last week it snowed and it was cold, and we all put down our tools and everything, and we all had a big old snowball fight, and it was a lot of fun. We were running around through the parking lot and through the pole yard having a snowball fight after class, and that just tells you that we all like each other a lot. We're all brothers here. Snowball fights, no, you wouldn't be expecting it. You get hit in the face with a snowball, it's all laughs. It's a good time. I'd say if you were able to visit our classroom outside to come watch us climb, that you might want to bring some popcorn with you, because we got 2 kids in our class named Jeff Matthews and Cole DePietro, and it was almost like WWE at some points, that they would just wrestle and bicker at each other, and it was really fun to watch. They really spiced up the outside time, and it was a lot of fun being a part of this brotherhood, and it's not going to go away. I don't know if anybody out there knows this, but Vermont is an actual state. It's an actual place. We have little Sam Klingensmith. He's from Vermont. You would have never guessed it. Don't go there. Nope. Maple's good. They make maple. That's good. We got Neil Violetta. I don't know if he's going to continue being a lineman or not, because I'm pretty sure the NHL has offered him to be their best Zamboni driver that they've ever had. I would like to say that you could go to any other line school, but I guarantee you that you will not learn as much as us, nor did you will have had an experience quite like ours that we had at Northern Michigan University. The setting here is great, nature's great, but the friends and the instructors, they're even better. It's unbeatable. And to close out, I would like to say thank you to Cindy Andrews. She's the one that showed me the video of the Line Tech program. Otherwise, I would never have applied, and I would not be here today. I would like to thank my parents for their endless support. I'd like to thank Jerry and Dennis for putting up with us for all this time, because I know that was hard, real hard sometimes. I'd also like to thank my classmates for pushing me to be a better person. And I'd like to thank Northern Michigan University for giving me this opportunity to complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Those are very good words. Next, we'll hear from another student representative of class of 2021, Thomas Zamanek. Thomas, to you.
Thanks, John. Okay, who's still working? Oh, first of all, I realized this afternoon that this shirt has a few wrinkles, which I'm a little embarrassed about. But I think most people have been estranged from their clothes irons and ironing boards for the last 13 months. I remember back in August, I sent a text message to this group, and I think that was one of the first times everyone connected. There were a bunch of funnies sent back and forth, and I specifically remember someone asking how old everyone was. And I saw lots of 18s and 19s and then a 23. And I saw someone reply to the age of 23 with a dang geezer. I was starting this program at 34, so if 23 was a geezer, I had no idea what that made me. I was just crossing my fingers that I wouldn't be the odd guy out when I got up here. And I do feel like we just got here, but we're already going our separate ways. When I think about my time in Sawyer, I'm gonna remember watching Eric climb to the top of one of the tallest poles on like day 2 or 3. Jeff's very colorful reaction to our first fill in the blank quiz. I'm gonna remember Mo most of the way up a pole, yelling at everyone on the ground about his belt feeling loose. I'm gonna remember Ben and Jerry's and Bernie and Jim the mannequin getting smashed to bits. Rest in peace, Jim, and I'll remember Steve chewing on everybody for throwing snowballs at each other, which Morgan already alluded to. I admit that some days I've had so much fun with this group that I've forgotten the world's actually falling apart. Learning this trade was a welcome distraction from COVID, which has touched my family. I'm sure it's touched many of yours. I think everyone here learned a lot, experienced a lot of firsts. Coming from another career where I worked at a desk most days, I was pretty uncomfortable a lot of the time, but I think that's true of all of these guys. But even though we were uncomfortable, I am sure that we're all going to miss pole field down in Sawyer. So if I can leave these guys with something, it's that wherever you go, whatever you're doing, you're gonna have to work with people who may be older, like this geezer troll, or younger, or who don't look like you or talk like you or think like you, but just keep in mind that everyone has valuable experience and something to offer. I've tried to help where I can, and you guys have taught me plenty of stuff. Eric, how to speed up my pole top rescue, Jeff, how to operate the backhoe, and Joe, how to basically do anything. So I would just say, don't shut the door on strangers without giving them a shot. I want to thank Steve for being about as patient as a guy could be in the field. With every step of everything we did, he always had a good lesson to share. And selfishly, I wish he'd been there all of the winter semester because I know we'd have learned a ton from him. So thanks for teaching us, Steve. I also want to thank Dennis, who's probably the most no-nonsense guy I've ever met. I don't think we would have accomplished nearly as much as we did in the field without him, and he made it fun. He always had good stories and was willing to listen. I can't imagine trying to break into this trade without having learned from him. I know he cares a lot about this group of guys. And this talk wouldn't be complete without a couple Jerryisms, so here you go. Look at that, eh? Another fine day in the UP. Jerry seems to say that a lot of days, but especially on the ones where the weather is awful. I especially want to recognize Jerry. And somehow all the tomfoolery just seems to bead right off the man, including yesterday when 2/3 of the class came in his typical uniform, which is a short sleeve plaid shirt, suspenders, and a University of Michigan mask. Truly, I have not met anyone else like Jerry LePage. He is a jack of this trade and all others, and I still haven't found the boundaries of his knowledge of electricity. I know Jerry has poured all of himself into this program. I've seen him down in Sawyer working on stuff on the weekends. He answers my emails, texts, and calls off hours. He genuinely wants everyone in this group to succeed. And I am honored to have been able to learn what I could from him before he retires. So thank you sincerely, Jerry, for your service and for everything you've done for us and every other group that came before us. You should feel really proud of what you have accomplished in your career. Over the holidays, I reread this book by Matthew Crawford, which is called Shop Class's Soulcraft. And Crawford describes the trades as, quote, inherently situated in a particular context. In the best cases, the building and fixing that they do are embedded in a community of using. Face-to-face interactions are still the norm, and you are responsible for your own work, and clear standards provide the basis for the solidarity of the crew, unquote. I never felt the odd guy on this crew because I feel like there is solidarity here in our shared experience of learning the fundamentals of this trade. Crawford said that real knowledge arises through confrontations with real things. So let's go confront them. I wish you all good health in the remainder of this thing we're working through together and apart, in great success in your careers, and a rekindling of your relationship with your clothes iron, which is a resistive load, as I have come to learn. All right, somebody go wake up Bud. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. I'd like to congratulate both speakers, and now to provide the instructor comments is Mr. Jerry LePage, and then we'll follow up, Jerry, with President Fritz Erickson. Jerry, the screen is yours.
Good evening. I guess I was a little taken aback when the class came in dressed in my form of dress, but I was really proud and thankful. The fact that they did that shows me that they care about me as much as I care about them. And that is one of the things that I can say in the 18 years I've been teaching this program. I really care about my students. So let me get on to my prepared remarks. First of all, graduation is always a time for mixed emotions with me. Of course, I'm overjoyed at the thought of all of you embarking on your careers. But I'm also saddened that our time together must come to an end. I think that over the last 2 semesters, each of you have learned some things, had some good times, had some stressful times, and developed some friendships. I will miss each of you. Yes, even those of you who are somewhat of a thorn in my side, and hope that from time to time, you will give me a call. Let me know how you're doing. And if you're in the area, please stop by the class and let them know how things are going out on the right-of-way. I'd like to thank our many industry partners, especially the Marquette Board of Light and Power, Upper Peninsula Power Company, Alger Delta Cooperative Electric Association, Wisconsin Energy, Wisconsin Public Service, MJ Electric, Fox Power, and American Transmission Company. Without their support, this program would be unsustainable. I would also like to thank the Lake Superior Community Partnership and the Northern Michigan University, who have provided outstanding support to this program since its inception. I would also like to personally thank my co-instructor, Dennis LaValle, who does an outstanding job and has become an indispensable asset to the program. I would also like to thank Steve LeBombard, who filled in due to the COVID. We had to split the class, and he was a great asset out in the field to help Dennis to train these young individuals. And finally, I would like to thank the parents, grandparents, friends, and significant others who have supported these graduates in achieving this goal. It is hard to visualize a life without the benefit of electrical energy. We have come to depend upon it in every aspect of our lives. Currently, there are over 180 million wood poles, 2.7 million transmission towers, and 9 million miles of conductor in service to provide electricity to approximately 155 million customers in the United States. Clearly, there's no shortage of work. While some of our graduates have already secured an apprenticeship, I would ask that parents, friends, and significant others keep these graduates motivated to seek and to find that first job in the trade. As you go forth to seek your apprenticeships and eventually attain your journey person card, I would like to talk a little bit about being a line worker. The first lineman in the United States was Ezra Cornell, who built the Morse telegraph line in the 1840s and later founded Cornell University. Electrical lineman had its beginnings in 1879 with the invention of the electric light bulb. Today, there are approximately 115,000 electrical linemen in the United States. Now, the Wikipedia definition of a lineman is a tradesman who constructs and maintains electrical power transmission and distribution facilities. The term is also used to include those who install and maintain telegraph, telephone, cable TV, and fiber optic lines. But a lineman is more than that. A lineman is someone who answers that call that breaks the silence of the night, working in every conceivable type of weather, including howling winds, pouring rain, hot or humid, ice storms, and snowstorms, with one goal in mind: to keep the lights on. A true lineman willingly forgoes many Thanksgiving dinners, 4th of July parades, birthdays, and Christmases with the family in order to do his or her duty. In 2020, 4 major hurricanes, Isaiah, Marco, Laura, and Sally, left hundreds of thousands of people without power. Thousands of line workers responded to the call, and block by block, customer by customer, problems were corrected and power was restored. Line work is physically challenging. Linemen wear approximately 30 pounds of tools and equipment when they are climbing poles. Further, they must wear rubber gloves and sleeves and other safety-related items and deal with heavy weights and high conductor tensions. But the mental challenge is even more important. At all times, linemen must choose the right tools and equipment and follow and employ industry standard work methods and ensure that they follow safety-related work practices. Failure to do so can have dire consequences. Linemen are charged to be leaders, both personally and professionally, to be positive role models who take pride in our profession, yet have the humility to know the power of the electricity we deal with daily. My hope for you is that you will be surrounded by old school linemen who will mentor you, train you, and nurture you as you go about learning the trade, and that you will develop the intense sense of pride, satisfaction, and humility that is commonplace among linemen. And when you become journeymen, that you too will be old school linemen, working safely and training those who come after you. Then on that day, far in the future, when you decide to hang up your hooks, you will be able to look in the mirror, take a deep breath, feel the satisfaction of a well-spent career, and know you did it right. You were safe, and you taught that safety to others. You were a role model for those coming after you, and you will know that you made a real difference. Thank you, and congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Jerry. And thank you for all you've done for this program. You've truly been committed over the past 18 years. If we stop and think about it, over 500 graduates have come through you for your training, your leadership, and your dedication. And now it's time for you to hang up your hooks. uh, as you've been trying to do for the past couple of years. And I want you to know that we all feel you have done it right. You and Dennis have done an amazing job. We greatly appreciate the time and commitment you've brought forward to this program. Without the two of you, it just would not be what it is today. Next on the agenda, we'll hear from Northern Michigan University's president, Dr. Fritz Erickson.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. And good evening. I certainly appreciate the opportunity to speak tonight. And let me begin by echoing John's comments about Jerry. You've done an extraordinary job. You've made all of us at Northern very proud with the work that you have done. And your graduates are your legacy. They continue to make us proud. Let me certainly begin by thanking the members of the Electrical Line Tech Program Advisory Board. Your expertise and your time to help make our program does help make our program among the best that are out there. I also want to recognize our faculty, staff, and administrators. You also do an outstanding work, clearly on behalf of our students. And thank you for the dedication to this truly amazing program. And finally, thank you to the family and friends of the graduates. It's very rare for anyone to earn this type of educational endorsement without the support of someone else. So it truly is a team effort for our students to be able to, for these folks to be able to graduate. Now, I have to be honest with you, I could never do the program. And I've been out and I've watched students train a few times over the years. I've seen them climb the poles 30 and 40 feet in the air. It looks like 80 or 90 to me, but you know, hauling huge bundles of wire around. I've watched them deal with live electricity. And I have to tell you, I've always been in awe, although part of me was certainly terrified as I watched up, given my unrational fear of heights. Graduates, we know you're strong. We certainly know you're brave. And we all do admire what it is that you do, because what you do is so very important. You should be very proud of your accomplishments in completing this certificate and taking on these important roles. And as we all know, this is not a career choice for the faint of heart. You know, line tech folks that I've had the real fortune to get to meet and talk with and get to know are people who love the outdoors. But we also know it means working in snowstorms and ice and windstorms and behind hurricanes and tornadoes. And, you know, it seems like every time we close the university for a snow day, you know, I always feel a little bit guilty because I know the line tech students, that's just another day on the job of learning. I've heard it said that the adrenaline rush of working atop a 40 or 50 foot transmission tower during a windstorm is really something. Again, I'll tell you, I'll just skip that experience altogether. But I understand those that do it really do enjoy that. And I've heard the term tower of power used instead of what I do, sit in an office cubicle. So to be here today, we know you had to develop and strengthen a lot of skills as linemen and linewomen must be able to do. You're good at building things, you're great with tools, you're part mechanic, you're part machine operator, you're often working in aerial bucket trucks, digger derricks, crane trucks, trenchers, and as customer service representatives, you're also very much problem solvers, inventors, scientists, physicists, and mathematicians. 40 feet in the air, often with pounding wind and dealing with electricity, is not what you want to be calling for consultation or looking things up on the internet. I truly admire your on-the-spot creativity and ingenuity. I'm also so deeply impressed how everyone in this profession does look out for one another. The stress, the emphasis on safety, and how that's really part of the culture of those who go through this program is something to truly admire. So graduates, you've earned the right to join the ranks of those called the Keepers of the Light. Congratulations on completing the electrical line technician program at Northern and the Midwest Skills Development Center. I hope each and every one of you enjoys your time in the outdoors, high on your poles, the wind, the sights, the sounds. But most of all, be safe and be smart. And thank you in advance for the work you'll be doing to keep your community and all of our communities that you travel to assist and be safe, powered up, light and warm. Thanks so very much.
Thank you, President Erickson. It's now time to welcome back Jerry LePage for the presentation of graduates.
Nick Azalin. Keegan Beamer. Morgan Bohannon. Darren Budd. Andrew Combs. Riley Corrigan. Matthew Dankert. Cole DePietro. Ethan Erickson. Eric Froblum. Hunter Grondin. Lucas Gerton. Trace Hammerstrom. Nico Hess. Peyton Holstrom. Caleb Hubble. Isaac Johnson. Sam Keskamaki. Sam Klingensmith. Nick Lindstrom. Christopher Mackey. Wesley Mannanen. Jeffrey Matthews. Trayton McKinnon. Derek Meline. Grant Norris. Riley Numala. Lars Pietala. Mitchell Schlehuber. Brendan Shanahan. Joe Stewart. Neil Violetta. Brendan Watson. Dakota Yeager. Thomas Zamanek.
Jerry, thank you for announcing our students. This time, I'd like to thank everybody for attending the electrical line technician graduation. And congratulations to the class of 2021. We hope you all have a great weekend. This now concludes our celebration of success for the electrical line technician class of 2021. Good night, everyone.